The Instagram one.
I got that.
Okay. Did you push it already?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. It's my time to rise. It's my time to shine. It's my time to live. It's my time to fly. It's my time. It's my time. I can see it. I can feel it. Time has come now to reveal it. I've been waiting for a long time, gotta do it. And won't let nothing hold me down, gotta do it. Because I may not get another chance, I believe it.
Uh-oh. I hear somebody's alarm going off. Hey, everybody. It is 10 o'clock. So you know what that means. First of all, let me just say I am on the road and I have no glam team. So it's a lot of stuff going on here in this hotel room, but we making it do what it do. That's how we roll. That's how we do. All right. So I want to thank everybody so much for joining me on live today. Hey, IG. Thank you so much. It is my birthday, and I thought what was a absolute best way to celebrate the birth of Tari than to officially launch the birth of my baby, Xtreme Vision. Yes, yes, yes. So drop that fire emoji for me if you've already ordered your book. Let me see. Let me see an emoji. I need to see something. Drop that emoji for me if you have already purchased the book. Drop me a heart emoji if you've received your book already. Right? And drop me a what do you call those? That fireball emoji if you started reading the book. Yes, I did a pre-launch at first. So some people may have already received the book. Some people already may have had it. But if you drop me some, let me see that I'm not here by myself. I see y'all on IG, but I want to see on Facebook if you have ordered your book, if you've had a chance to read it yet. Give me some emojis so I'll know that you're with me. Okay. So first, thank y'all so much for being here. For those who may not know me, just because you just happen to be on your Facebook and I popped up on your feed, thank you for joining me today. I just want to kind of just be in all transparency. I don't know what I'm doing. Right? This is my very first virtual or any type of book launch ever. So I'm really pretty much doing what feels natural to me. But for those who do not know me, let me introduce myself. My name is Tari Donaldson. I am known as your purpose pusher. And if you get around me long enough, you know what that means. But I am your purpose pusher. I am the CEO of Purpose Chasing Academy, which is a company that helps men and women to find their purpose, create the vision and action steps so that you can thrive not only in life, but in business and level up. And then I'm also the co-founder and COO of Xtreme Hip Hop, which is a global fitness company. And now I can add a recent solo published author. So I'm just excited and I'm so blessed. I first want to say thank you to my Lord and Savior for giving me another year. On this earth, I am going into chapter 47. 47, y'all. Yeah, 47. This girl, 47. But I'm so thankful that I've made it thus far. So give me a thumbs up if you've just ever been scared to do something that you truly wanted to do. Just give me a thumbs up. If y'all really can't give me a thumbs up on YouTube. I mean on Instagram, but give me a thumbs up if you have ever been scared, really scared to do something. Right. So that's been me. That's been me on this journey in writing this book. Right? This book has been inside of me for years, but I was so afraid to write it because of, to be honest, you're truly getting naked in front of people and don't know if you're their type. That's how it feels to write a book. And so I had all these different fears and the fear of being misunderstood, of being judged. There was just a lot of fears that kept me from really wanting to expose myself with a book. But I knew that my vision was bigger than my fear. And I'm a coach. And so my mission is to push people to their purpose. And I believe that we all have an assignment in this world. And this world to me is just a big puzzle. So until you figure out your piece of the puzzle and put it in line, then I can't get my piece of the puzzle in line, and she can't get her piece of the puzzle in line. And y'all see where I'm going with this, right? So I knew I couldn't just sit on this story. I knew I just couldn't sit on my passion and the things that I have experienced that I know could help others, right? So with my coaching, with this book, I'm able to reach and guide. With my coaching program, I'm able to reach and guide many men and women. Right now, I'm able to do quite a bit, but I knew that I could reach and guide more people if I can just position myself to become more accessible. And with this book, Xtreme Vision is my way of offering a piece of me to anyone who desire that opportunity to change and to thrive and to really move in their vision and their purpose. So before I give you a little taste of Xtreme Vision, I want to answer any questions you may have about the writing process, because maybe you want to unleash your gifts and your story, because your story, which I love to quote my coach, Dr. Cheryl Woods, your story is about you, but it's not for you. And Xtreme Vision is my story, but it's sorry. Xtreme Vision, the story, the memoir part of it is about me, but it's definitely not for me. It is for those who can see themselves in me and can know that no matter what, they can make it through. So I want to give you a little piece of Xtreme Vision so you know what you're getting into when you go buy it. So if you have any questions about, about the writing process, you have any questions about my background or even Purpose Chasing Academy, I want to take a minute to breathe and allow those questions to be answered. Okay, so I see from Fit for the Kingdom, so I want to write and do my own book one day and share with all of you with your guidance. I'm ready. Whenever you're ready, let's jump on the call. Let's start talking about it. Benjamin Lewis says, how long did it take to develop and finalize your book? It took me about a year. I started this process in actually less than a year. I started this process in November, and I want to just this whole thing, and I've talked about this quite often. I don't know why this is something that has been put on my spirit, but this saying that elevation requires isolation. I want to just smack that whole thing down, because it is a tool of the enemy to isolate us. And so for years, I have not, like I said, wanted to allow this story to come out, right? I had to find people. I had to find the right circle that would push me into my purpose, that could push me further into my vision. So that's the only way this book was actually written. I found someone who could help me get my ideas down on paper, to organize them. And so the process has taken me to go through all this stuff, to work on myself, to be vulnerable, to be honest. It's taken me almost a year. It probably would have been shorter if I would allow myself to just release it all at once. But this is a process, and that's kind of how life is, and that's how it is walking in your purpose. It is a process. And so it's taken me probably around 7 to 8 months, but it's because I've had a group of people who has helped to push my vision along, who, when I wanted to stop, didn't allow me to stop, who gave me that accountability and that support. But it definitely was an amazing experience, therapeutic experience that I would cherish for me for a long time. Thank you for that question. Keisha, do you recommend writing yourself, or do you recommend a ghostwriter? I recommend you do whatever is best for you, right? I think any way to get your story out is best. So if your gifts and talents is not putting stuff down on paper, organizing your thoughts, if that's not really your talent, but you have a story, you have a gift to gab, you can talk it out, then I would suggest getting with someone who can take your words and put it into place. But make sure they're still your words. Even if you get a ghostwriter, make sure that it's still you. Don't allow anybody to change your story or who you are. Make sure that you are continuing to be authentically you. So either way you go, it just really depends on your gifts and your talents. And I'm a big component of that. You can go far. You can make things good by yourself, but you can make things great with a team. So if you need that, if you need someone to write for you who does beautiful work, putting, your grammar together and all the structure and all that good stuff, get you a ghostwriter, girl. Do not sit there and wait and not allow your story to be pushed out because you're trying to figure that part out. You got people who have that talent already who can push that stuff out for you. So I recommend that if you figure out what your gifts and talents and skills are, and then go from there. Okay. All right. Whenever you're ready, fit for the kingdom. I'm going to tell y'all, I am at the hotel. Today is my birthday, so I've been celebrating all week. And I have a complete studio in here. But when I tell you these lights are bright in my eyes, I need somebody now to read these questions to me. But any more questions that I can answer for you guys before I give you a little taste of Xtreme Vision? I'm trying to look at both my Instagram and my Facebook to see. 3 big takeaways that I hope readers get from the book. Thank you, Renee. One is that you're not alone. We are all going through something, and that you can overcome anything. Like, it's not the end. Whatever situation you're in is just a situation. It's not the end. So that's 1. 2, you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to, this journey, any challenges that you are going through, you do not have to do them alone. And 3, that if you have your purpose, you need to make sure that you have a vision of what you want to accomplish with that purpose. And then you need some action steps, because a vision without action steps is just a dream. And plenty of people go to the grave with a dream. So that's the 3rd one, is my major takeaway, is that you have to have your purpose, your vision, and your action steps. All right. So I hope that you get those things from I know that you would get those things from Xtreme Vision. So I'm excited to hear the feedback from that. And then Lady Cupid, which I believe is Sandra. What major lessons did you learn in writing this book? The major lesson that I learned from writing this book is that you cannot heal what you can't admit to. Right? You cannot really truly overcome. It's a lot of things I overcame writing this book. So you can't heal from it something that you won't be honest with yourself about. You have to be, and that goes into figuring out your vision and your purpose, your skill sets. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest and authentic with yourself first before you can attract the people that you're supposed to serve, before you can truly make an impact in the world. Okay. All right. Thank you for the birthday wishes, everybody. All right. So I'm going to give you a little taste of Xtreme Vision. And these are some good questions. I'm gonna ask one more question. I'm gonna try to go back after this. So which part of the book was the most challenging for you to write? The most challenging part of the book for me to write about was my personal journey, just because my personal story involved other people. And so it was very difficult for me to not only be truthful and authentic to myself, but also not trying to shame or bash or hurt anyone else in the process of me telling my truth. So that had to be the most challenging part of writing for me, to just make sure that I honor, even though it is my truth, even though it did happen to me. I still love everyone that our alignment didn't work out, or our stories ended early. I still love every piece of lesson I learned from them. So I never want to make anyone feel bad, because I'm trying to be honest and truthful about my story. So thank you for the question, Ashley, but that was definitely very much the hardest part for me. Okay, so I'm going to read you guys a little bit because I don't want to hold you long. And I'm hoping it was very hard for me to figure out what part of this I wanted to give, but the link to my book is actually, it should be in the on this page, and the Amazon link is going to be put on here in a little bit as well. It'll definitely be in my bio. All right, so this is a part of my book, part of my story before Xtreme. About a week before I was due to return to work, the phone rang and I answered it without a second thought. Hi, Tari, my supervisor. Brian's voice came through, sounding hesitant and strained. He made small talk and asked about the new baby, and then he got to the point. I'm sorry to tell you this, but we need to talk about your position. My blood ran cold as he continued, explaining that due to budget cuts, they wouldn't be able to bring me back after the maternity leave. As I sat on the edge of my bed, Riley sleeping peacefully in her crib nearby, I tried to process what this meant for my family. Is there any way we could raise the funds to continue my position? Perhaps a fundraiser or through partnering with another foundation? I asked desperately, hoping for an alternative. He said, I'm so sorry, Tari. We've looked at every option and reached out to every foundation. The problem is one of the grants we thought was secure fell through and it left $100K deficit in our budget. As the reality of the situation sank in, I hung up the phone and the tears came. Hot and angry, they spoke of fear and frustration and a deep sense of betrayal. I'd always prided myself on my work ethics and on being the reliable one, the achiever. Now with a newborn and a 4-year-old depending on me, that identity was being stripped away. After hanging up the phone, I sat in stunned silence for several minutes. The sound of Riley stirring in her crib finally snapped me out of my daze. As I picked her up and held her close, inhaling her sweet baby scent, I thought of how I had always planned and prepared ahead in everything I did. But this unexpected turn of events left me feeling adrift. We'll figure it out, I whispered to her, as much for my benefit as hers. Mommy always finds a way. That evening when Robert came home, I broke the news to him. His initial reaction was one of concern and support. We'll get through this, Tari, he said. You're smart and talented and something will come along. But as the days passed and the reality of our situation set in, the stress began to take its toll on our relationship. The loss of my income put additional pressure on Robert as the sole breadwinner, and I could see the worry lines deepening on his face. I threw myself into job hunting that bordered on obsession. Every spare moment was spent updating my resume, networking, and applying for positions. My determination to find another job, but not just another job, the right job, one that would allow me to continue to growing and advancing, sometimes clashed with Robert's desire for me to quickly find something, anything, to help to ease the strain of our financials. These conversations became increasingly frequent and heated as the week passed. The stress of unemployment, coupled with demands of caring for 2 children and continuing my studies, began to wear on me. There were moments of doubt and fear, nights spent laying awake wondering if I had made the right choices. Losing my job at NEOC sent ripples through every aspect of our lives, exposing the weakness of the financial foundation we had built. As I sat at my kitchen table, surrounded by bills and loan statements, the gravity of our situations hit me like a ton of bricks. My car loan, which seemed manageable when I had a source of income, now loomed over me like a dark cloud. I remember staring at the payment book, the long list of monthly installments stretched out like an endless road. How many more payments do I have? I find myself asking these questions over and over again, flipping through the pages, each one representing a month, a year of our lives committed to this debt. With no present salary, it felt like I'll be paying on this loan forever. The weight of the mortgage felt even heavier. When we bought the house, it had been a dream come true, the first in my family to own a home. Now that dream was threatening to turn into a nightmare. I recalled the moment I had signed those mortgage papers. The amount so large it seemed to make my head spin. I'll be paying this off until I'm old and gray, I joked, and trying to lighten the mood. But now those words came to haunt me. The 30-year term stretch out before me felt like an eternity of payments that suddenly seemed impossible to meet. Every week, I kept thinking, what if I can't make it? What if I lose everything? I had worked so hard to build this life and provide for my children with stability and opportunities that I didn't have. The thought of it all slipped away just seemed unbearable. Every trip to the mailbox became an exercise in dread. Each envelope potentially carrying news of late payments, default notices, or worse. I started daydreaming about repo men coming for our car and being forced to sell our house and move into a rental apartment, or even worse, to Robert's grandmother's house where we started. There were moments when the pressure felt overwhelming, and I remember standing in our bedroom looking at the life we had built, the furniture, the photo of our smiling faces on the walls, and feeling a deep, aching fear that it might all disappear. I can't let that happen, I whispered to myself, clenching my fists. I just won't. This period of financial strain and uncertainty was one of the most challenging of my life. It tested not only my financial resilience, but also the strength of my relationship with Robert and my self-belief. The loans that had once represented hope and progress now felt like shackles, binding into a future of endless payments and constant worry. The following months were a blur of job application, rejection, mountain bills. Our savings dwindled rapidly, and soon we faded. We faced the unthinkable, losing our home. The first home I had ever owned. The place where Tara had taken her first steps, where I had brought Riley home from the hospital. It felt like watching a cherished dream slip through my fingers. I remember the day we had to leave. Though I'll try so hard to forget, a friend's moving truck was parked outside. I stood in Tara's empty room, running my hands along the wall where we marked her height each year. Tara's room empty now. Tears streamed down my face as I whispered a silent goodbye to all the memories we made there. The sound of Tara's laughter echoing through the empty halls as she chased her father in a game of tag. The quiet nights spent rocking Riley to sleep, watching the moonlight cast shadows on the nursery walls. All of it was slipping away, and I felt powerless to stop it. I'm going to go on a little bit to the end of this chapter. That night after the girls were in bed, I sat at the kitchen table, the same place where I consumed countless late-night snacks to numb my pain. But instead of reaching for food, I reached for pen and paper. It was time to face reality head on. I began to write, pouring out all the fears and frustrations I've been holding inside. The loss of our home, the strain in my marriage, the setback in my career, the disappointment in myself. It all came flooding out. As I wrote, I realized that these deep pains weren't just wounds. They were also openings. Openings for growth, for change, for a new version of myself to emerge. I thought about the lessons I wanted to teach my girls, about resilience in the face of challenges, about the importance of financial literacy and self-care. I wanted them to see a mother who didn't just survive, but thrive, who overcame her challenges and came out stronger. As the night wore on me, my list of pains transformed into a list of goals. Small, actionable steps I could take to start reclaiming my life. My mind was already racing with plans. I would tackle my health first. And from there, I would reassess my career path, determined to find work that both supported my family and fulfilled my potential. I would face the issues in my marriage head on, either working to rebuild it or having the courage to walk away if necessary. It wouldn't be easy, I knew that. The road ahead would be filled with challenges and setbacks, but for the first time in years, I felt a spark of hope. I went to bed that night with a plan and a promise to myself. This was not the end of my story. The deep pains of the past few years had brought me to my knees, but they had also shown me my own strength. It was time to rise, to rewrite my narrative and become the woman I knew I could be, not just for myself, but for my girls and for my future. As I drift off to sleep, I held onto that spark of hope. Tomorrow will be the first day of my new chapter, and I was ready to face it head on. So and that was a little bit of the chapter. I gave you a little bit here, a little bit there of some of my challenges, and then I went down to when I started to come out of it. And so also in the book is a coaching corner, and this is a little bit of what the coaching corner says for that chapter. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight. It's about consistent small steps in the right direction. As you work through these questions and action steps, remember to give yourself grace. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small it may seem. Your journey is unique. These pains and challenges you're facing, they're not just obstacles. They're opportunities for tremendous growth. Embrace them. Learn from them. Use them as fuel to propel you towards your goal. And then after I give you a little coaching, I give you reflection questions. So I'm not just telling you, woe is me, this is what happened to me. I want you to use it and maybe see yourself a little bit, not necessarily that situation, but we all have challenges. And so I want you to reflect on, these are a couple of questions that you reflect on. The first one is, what are the deep pains in your life right now? For me, it was losing my job that I had been at for 10 years and gaining weight and my marriage. So those were the deep pains. And then the other question to reflect on is, what might these pains be? What kind of opportunity for growth and change can these pains have for you? And then after that, the action steps happen, because action is the point here. To sit there and have a pity party, or to say, woe is me, or to say, why me? Take some action in your life. And so I give you some tools to help you on that journey. The first, and these are a couple, I give you quite a few, but I'm just going to give you a couple because I want you to go get the book. Okay. So this is one, is to write it down. I'm a pen and paper person. Any of my coaching clients will tell you the first thing I tell them is to grab a notebook and a pen and put the pen to the paper. It's something about writing it out, not just typing it. It's something about writing. It's really something about writing it out that helps us to move forward. So take 15 minutes, write down your current challenges, be brutally honest with yourself. And then the second thing is goal settings. Based on those challenges, set 3 to 5 small actionable goals. Break these down into daily or weekly tasks. So that's a little bit of Xtreme Vision. As you can see, it's a lot to unpack. It's a lot that you can gain from this book, especially if you're at a point in your life where you feel stagnant, where you have allowed your challenges to truly stifle you. This book can be that push that you need to get your life back on track, to get it back focused, or to figure out what your purpose is, and then to help you to get a vision and start moving. So everyone can afford coaching programs. Sometimes it can be expensive, but everybody can afford this tool. And you need this tool in your collection to truly start to create your vision and then make it extreme. So I want to give you opportunity to ask any other questions that you may have before I close out my very first book launch. And I'm so excited. It's such a amazing opportunity to share myself with a mass amount of people. And that's what I feel like being able to write a book gives. It gives an opportunity for you to have a piece of me, even if you can't join the coaching programs, or if you can't get to me where I'm speaking, or you don't catch any of my lives. It's an opportunity to really get some meat and not just drinking milk. Okay? All right. Any other questions you guys may have about the book, about purpose, about Purpose Chasing Academy? I am here to give you feedback. Thank you so much, Ashley. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. Thank you, Pam Perry. She is an awesome resource when you are ready to get yourself out there and get yourself known. Miss Pam Perry is our PR angel. There is a link. Pam, actually, I'm going to see if I can't pin this. See if I can't. Oh, I can't pin it on this side. But it is in my bio. It is if you go to TareeDonaldson.com, it is there. I'm trying to look and see if I missed any questions. But thank you guys so much for tuning in today. This is my very first Facebook Live, if you could believe that. I'm always on Instagram, but you can find me on all social media platforms at Taree Donaldson. Thank you, Don. Don and Owens Publishing was my publisher, who really helped me to get my thoughts down and bring this book to life. So many people to thank. Thank you, Renee, also on here. She actually is a newly published author as well. So y'all check out Renee as well. She is a genius in her field. So definitely follow her as well. Okay, I said about 30 minutes and I'm pretty good on my time. Any other questions? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and for being part of my very first, not the last. It's so much that this book is a combination of my memoir as well as a guide, a roadmap to finding your purpose, developing your vision, and really thriving. But the book ain't this thick, so it's not my entire life, okay? It is a small piece of my life. So, there'll be other things coming out that will continue to give you insight on the journey, as well as giving you ways to overcome challenges and obstacles, because they will come. The key is to figuring out how to handle them and how to use them. I will say that fear is something that we all have, but fear should not stop you from moving. It should push you. It should motivate you to do better. So do not allow the scary feeling. Do it scared. I know that sounds like a cliche. People say it all the time. Do it scared. But if it doesn't scare you, then that vision is not extreme. Okay? If it doesn't scare you just a lot of bit, then that vision is not extreme. Okay? And you all have a piece of this puzzle. Do you know your piece? If you get the book and you feel like you need more, then please reach out to me and we can help you to really structure and give you strategic action plans to get you to the point that you need to get to. All right. I want to thank all of my coaching clients who are still sticking with me, still call me, still give me all their good news. I want to thank all my support system, my siblings, my children, Benjamin Lewis. I want to thank all of my other extreme instructors. They really do give me life and keep me waking up every single morning trying to figure out how I can be the best I can be. And so I want to thank all my supporters. I love everyone so much for all the support. And I wish everyone a very, very, very happy rest of your week. And remember, be dope on purpose and watch epic-ish happen. Peace. Hey, IG. Thanks for coming in. Where can you get the book? It's at TareeDonaldson.com. Xtreme Vision is right there, and you can definitely get the book there. And I hope y'all like it. Make sure you leave me some good reviews. All right. Peace out, y'all.